What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host, as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to everyone who supports anything we do. Special shout out to all the students from By the Hood University. Salute to all the kids from By the Hood Ownership Camp. As you know, our platform is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who are doing amazing work, building businesses, doing positive work in the communities. I got my partner in crime, Corey. Corey, what's up, good brother?
What's really good? Everything, it's 2022. Every day is a good day to be alive. Let's go get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure.
Listen, like I said already, listen, we highlight brothers and sisters who are doing amazing work, building businesses, repairing our communities. And we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep highlighting these people, telling their stories. We got a brother like who's went into the real estate game, right? And has his own construction company. He's an investor himself, does wholesaling. And he's going to share his story. He has a unique story. We were talking a little bit before we came on about his journey into this business. So I can't wait for him to share his story, man. We got the brother Chris Darden on. Chris, what's up, good brother?
For sure. What's going on? What's going on, brothers?
How you?
Jimmy, Corey. I'm amazing, man. I'm amazing. I'm actually happy to be doing this. I've been trying to get just get back on my brand, get back on the stage this year and attack. I thought my barber was going to play me out this morning, so I had to make that special phone call. Like, hey, listen, man. I need the red carpet on like 8:00 in the morning, but I need that. So everything worked out. I mean business.
That's what's up, man. Listen, so we want to highlight you and talk about your story, what you got going on, man. Tell us where you originally from.
Gotcha. I'm originally from Norristown, so I'm probably about 20-25 minutes outside of Philadelphia, right across in Montgomery County, and yeah, that's how we carrying it, man. Shout out to the town.
What schools did you go to coming out there?
So my elementary school, well, I guess even before that, I went to the OIC, which is like our little community, like daycare or whatever the case may be, or the biggest one. I believe is government funded. Other than that, elementary school, I went to Cole Manor Elementary School. Middle school, I went to East Norton Middle School, and high school, I went to Norristown Area High School.
Okay, what kind of student were you coming up?
I would say I was straight A's until I got into about third grade. That's when I got a little bit cool. I was always the cool kid, but that's when I met like my best friends, and we all been in for like a good dub now. Just strong, just growing through friendship and going through stuff. But I think that's when I went from straight A's to like BC, and then it get all right. I know I can cruise through BCs. I might have a D here and there, but all right, let me try and stay BC. But I would say overall, I was like a C student when it was all said and done.
When you were going through that, though, what were your dreams then? Like, what did you think you were going to do? Like, what was your dreams as a kid coming up?
I wanted to go to the league, man. I wanted to go to the NBA. I wanted to play basketball from then until the rest of my life. That's all I was dedicated to up until I played my last season in 11th grade.
Okay. You know what's funny about that, right? Is like growing up in the inner city, all of us want to go to the league, whether that's the NFL or the NBA. And the funny thing is, I spoke to a group of kids at a school and asked them, like, what do you guys want to do when you grow up? And these were like, some of these kids, this is like 11th and 12th graders.
Mm-hmm.
And folks was like, go to the league. It's dudes in 12th grade who still thought they were going to the league, and they didn't play on the high school team.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, yo, how are you going to the league, bro? Like,
no AAU ball, no high
no
school
AAU
ball.
You're not in it, but you still going to the league.
Right.
That's crazy. But I mean, all of us had that, G. So you thought you was going to the league, right? So what was the next step in your journey, right? So Norristown High School. So what happened after that?
Like after what, high school or
yeah.
what? I went to community college, and I actually it's a unique story. I can kind of peel the onion back on it in a second, but like high school, I played up until 11th grade. It was dope too, because all my friends, like I said, we got like 20 years in, but we all played AAU together from 6th grade and went and competed. We did it little, community leagues. We started, a travel team, and we actually ended up, just competing and just growing with a lot of, players that, some people know today, Tariq Evans and, Wayne Ellington, Scoop Jardine, these guys that, really made some headway. Deion Waiters, stuff like that. We played against those guys, and it's it was dope, but I wasn't the best, but our town was stacked for real. Like by the time we got to high school, it was so many good players that we actually spread out like our whole team. So we had two teams, which was two grade levels, and just too much. Everybody could have played varsity and been their own star.
Yeah.
But some people went, to South Philly to play. Some people went to another Catholic school here. But if we all could have stayed together, I think we would have did a lot more damage over time. But we did do two runs. My 11th grade and my 12th grade year was back-to-back state championship runs with guys I played with for as long as I can remember. So that was a dope part. But the hurtful part of it too, because I had a decision to make at the time. I ended up getting a girl pregnant, and I was expecting twins. So it was like, my dreams was, they shifted really. I had a decision.
Yeah.
Am I going to fight for this spot for my senior year to play varsity and try and get a scholarship, or am I just going to go, straight get into this paper and take care of what I got to do, which, I had to do that. And, my mentality at the time was start a business, get myself, set up so that, my friends was done college in 4 years, that, nobody could tell us how much money we could actually make, because we would have the vehicles and the knowledge to be able to go and make whatever we wanted to make and run it up. So I actually spent my my senior year, trying to start a clothing line and just doing sketches in class and, just building my vision. Basically, I was hustling at the time. I probably started hustling like 10th grade and, had little jobs and stuff like that. And I was just trying to figure it out, really. But that was like the turning point of me, dropping my dreams, everything that I thought that I was going to do, getting uncomfortable and figuring out, something else that I could do that, I can help myself and help the people around me, because, that dream was, it was over for real, when I really had to look at what was going on. So,
yeah, it's funny though, because even talking about like, youth sports and high school sports, like those things are still important. Like,
sure.
Some of my closest friends, that's how we met, right? Playing ball. Like shit, me and Core met playing varsity basketball. Like that's how me and Core met. And even other friends that we still got to this day, that's where it comes from. So
yeah, for sure, man. That ball take you a lot of places, and
it does
teach you a lot of different skills and things like that I wouldn't have been able to do. That's when I really started traveling outside my own community. Like we was hooping, so it was like I got to see different places and go to New York and be in Philly and go to Delaware and playing in guys in Jersey and all over the county. Like it was a it was a thing. Our team.
Well, I was going to ask you this question. What do you think is the biggest lesson that you took away from your basketball journey and like playing hoops, what do you think is the biggest like lesson that you took away from that?
I think it's fighting for something that's bigger than you, because like we really had to go to war with these other kids, and we got our own idea about how good we are and how much we working and stuff, but we was nice in our town. Like nobody could mess with us. That's why we ended up being the the guys that was on the travel team, making a name for our town at the time. So you start getting in those other communities. You playing against boys out of Brooklyn, and you deep in South Philly. You feel me? It's like it get different. Like so we really had to go to war, and I think that it strengthened our relationship as friends. But like I said, the biggest thing was like fighting for something that's bigger than you, and that's what kind of flows into my businesses and things like that. Like I've pretty much partnered with all of my friends in a different capacity at different times, and started things that ultimately are helping all of us grow as entrepreneurs, as men. And it's just that big vision. I was a point guard too, so I was facilitating stuff like
baby
that.
Bron.
Okay, baby Bron. That would probably be the biggest lesson though, man. It's definitely fighting for something that's bigger than you. Because even when I think about my business now, my hardest days, my hardest ones, with my construction company, I partnered, again, guys that I've been playing with all this time, right? And when I'm trying to figure out, like, the money not there, or something wrong, or it's just hard times, or we getting hit and we underwater or whatever, it's like I ain't getting up for myself. I don't love construction. You feel me? I love y'all, and this what we gotta do to keep our family straight. So it's like that's what get me up. You feel me?
I heard that. That's dope. Nice. So in your journey, right? So the next step, you talk about like having twin, or having expecting twins, making that decision that you're going to like put something together, and your dreams kind of shifted. Yeah. So what was the next part of your story when that happened? Like what happened after your 12th grade year?
Got you. So I wanted to go to the Art Institute, and at the time it was like 80,000 or something like that for for the school year. And I told my mom, and she was just like, "You better go to community college. Like I ain't doing it again." So my brother he's about 3 years older than me, and he had a run when he first got out of high school to go to. He went to Virginia State University, And he did what he did. He messed his play up though, messed up his financial. He didn't do the stuff that he was supposed to do. But like, I just remember at that time being excited for him and being able to go down to school and see it, and like, the stuff my mom was doing. There's money in the freezer, shit that I ain't never seen her do before. It was like, whoa, you feel me? So when it was my time, it was like, nah, buddy, you know what I'm saying? You gotta figure it out. So that kind of hurt me on an emotional side of things. But other than that, it was just like, I went to community college, and so senior year is when she's expecting. So naturally, that next year is when the babies are supposed to be born, and I'm in school, stuff like that, and they pretty much ended up being born premature. So while I'm in college, I'm hustling, I'm doing school, and I'm learning, but like I'm going through this thing at the hospital, whereas though my first son, he died like within the first 2 days. So it was like, you can imagine that whole shift of like me changing myself, changing my life, getting this opportunity, manning up, and then it's like it get taken right away from you, and now you kind of got like a fresh start, but like you a completely different animal, and you don't really know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How to deal type of thing, but you in money mode like heavy. So it's like it kind of strengthened me in a different type of way. That was like really the big shift or the big change in my life that like turned me into an animal for real. But I did 3 semesters. Long story short, my first son, he died in 2 days. My second son, he died in like 30 days. But I'm like in class and I'm getting the calls from the hospital. Hey, it might not be a good day, so you might want to come. So I'm in and out of class. I'm busting trap. I'm doing too much. You feel me? But like, I'm just trying to get it right and do the right thing.
That's a lot to deal with, bro.
Yeah, for sure. At a young age.
Yep, I'm working at the school bookstore part time. So I'm like, I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to put it together, but like, it was just it was a thing. You know what I'm saying? It was different. I majored in business and I minored in communication. So that's pretty much where I was at. I ended up doing 3 semesters though. I did get some stuff accomplished. I learned some things in school. I was fascinated with like, international business a little bit, and just like the communications part of it helped me out because one of my teachers, he was a Grammy award, producer, and he actually put us in touch with a program called Grammy U, which allowed me the opportunity to be able to go to the Grammy. So, I'm hustling. I got money. I got my clothing brand. I'm building the designs up. I got stuff on. So, I end up taking myself to the red carpet. Like my first time out of my hood by myself on some like, I'm about to go on a trip. I flew to Cali, and I went to the red carpet, and I stayed out there for like 3 days, and I flew straight from Cali to Vegas. And it's a trade show out there. This happens in February. It's called Magic. It's like the biggest trade show.
For clothes,
thousands people out there. It's like, it's a lot going on. People coming from all over the world, vendors, sourcing, anything you can imagine. So I had that opportunity to like, try and put myself in position by getting my brand in front of people. I was out there, I was just doing stuff, putting myself in position for real. Did a photo shoot on the freeway on top of the, like the freeway run behind the Staples Center. So I'm up there doing a photo shoot. I got a photographer right off the runway, took him up there. The helicopters end up coming and get down. And they was trying, thought we was trying, shoot the place up or do something crazy. But I just was trying, bust moves and do stuff that I never did before. So that, that was my first, getting myself out of the box. And like, my business, I wasn't making a lot of money as of yet, but it started taking me places that, I wouldn't be able to go without it. The only thing that was making me move around was that basketball prior to that. So
you saw that business could do the same.
I quickly realized that it was going to take me different places and do different things. So like even before like the clothing line kind of started manifesting and doing this thing, it was just like a statement. My clothing line was called Lear, and it was basically me just trying to create a lifestyle and like teach people how to become successful and show them like, what I'm doing. Like this how you, get yourself on, and this how you live and, do things like that. That was all the concept was at the very beginning. But I was very fashionable in high school. I actually was like runner up, when it was coming to get nominated for best dress, stuff like that, my senior year. And we actually was doing some things that was actually next level when I really think about it at the time. Probably about 10th grade, 11th grade. We basically, like one of my friends, he was throwing parties. So it would be parties like neighborhood parties and stuff like that all over the town. You pay $2-3, little basement parties, sweatbox things. And we ended up actually being like the first people to take the parties from the basements to a venue. So we was hustling on the block on Cone Street, and it's like adjacent to a main like commercial strip, but it's a lot of foot traffic, little stores, laundromats, hair stores, restaurants, stuff like that around there. But these guys from South Philly, they came up and they, bought a restaurant, and it had a venue space in the back. So they were just trying to get traffic there. So we was like, oh, this the play. We basically started splitting the door with them. You know, we created our name. It was called Team Swagger, and we really like, you know, just had a couple cool guys, a couple of my friends. We would be the ones throwing the parties on the weekends now inside this venue space that can hold, you know, 200 people, stuff like that. So
Okay.
we started bubbling off of that a little bit. I was tapped in already because we had the ball team. All my guys was on the ball team. So like it kind of just made it easy to, I don't know, make it real. But those guys, shout out Khalik, Santu, and Steve, they actually put me on a fictitious name. So that was the first time we actually did something that was legitimate. You feel me? We you know, did the fictitious name for Team Swagger before we started even learning about LLCs and all of that. You know, put the stuff in the you know, the business plan inside the certified mail, send it back to yourself and all that type of stuff. And you know, I still got it today, actually.
Yeah.
But those was like my first business lessons, hustling around the corner, being able to get that opportunity. I would call it event planning is what we were doing. We was throwing parties and stuff like that under the fictitious name. We had girls, like, you know, 10 girls, and you know, we was young, but like, you know, these are the girls everybody want to see that's, you know, in our town. And
so you basically learned about organizing then. So you had a lot going on in terms of the clothing line. You know, you talked about the 3 semesters, like figuring out like how to put things together on the fly and all that, right?
Yep.
What led you to the real estate game?
I was always fascinated about the real estate game. I just never really knew how I was going to get into it. So even too, while I'm in high school, I'm hustling. I got a couple of dollars, you know, maybe, you know, 7, 8 grand, 10 grand. I'm getting up a little bit. And big thing at the time was like foreclosures. This like 08, you know, when they were talking about the market crashing and all that. This is around that time. I mean, I graduated high school in 09. So you know, I just wanted to know what it was about. So I started calling them, and, you know, the agent, you know, shut me down immediately. You know, you need to have at least, you know, 15,000. You need X credit score, this, that. And I ain't have none of that. I just knew I was hustling. I was trying to figure it out. So I was putting my shot up and figuring it out, but I ain't really know. What actually put me in tune was meeting the right people at the right time. I actually ended up meeting Jay Morrison. They came into Philly on a networking event, did like a little radio joint. My homie texted me like, look, this boy, he talking about he in South Philly right now getting his haircut. Like, like, all right, we about to pull up then. And that was pretty much the beginning of it. This was before, you know, they started the Jay Morrison Academy. Like I was saying, I was in fashion, so they had a clothing business called Young Minds Candy. Was selling school uniforms. So that's kind of how we connected. Like, oh, all right, I see what you're trying to do. I'm in fashion too. I had just got some samples of some ties. I had done some swimwear type of clothing first, meeting through a mutual contact, different designer or whatever the case may be. But it was harder to sell that than, like, you know, I'm a businessman, and, you know, I kind of figured out, all right, I can go to any businessman with a tie and we got a conversation. So that was like the mindset. And but when I met him, I ended up giving him the samples to the ties that we even got before I even got into production, just to kind of, you know, make some type of impact that I'm actually in this business, and, like, you know, I know what you're going through and I can definitely assist. So, but, you know, 8 months later, something like that, is when the Jay Morrison Academy was developed. And, you know, I had a front row seat to actually helping develop and build the business, and, you know, learning what wholesaling was. That was my entry into the business. And that was it. I had already known about LLCs and fictitious names at this point. It's got to be about 2013. And, you know, I just started my LLC right away, and started utilizing the information while this course and all this stuff was being built out, because I was already doing it in the streets. The business models was synonymous. You know, it was the same thing. We just using these contracts, and I'm just middleman and stuff. So it was like, oh, all right, this is it.
So your first foray into real estate was in the wholesale side, right?
Yes, sir.
So what was that first deal like for you when you closed your first wholesale deal? How did that feel? And, like, you know, in terms of understanding that you can make money doing this?
It was dope. It was dope because my situation was so much different. You know, I did start my business. It took me 2 years to close my first deal, though, ironically. And the good part about it was that I actually closed my first deal with my mentor. So that was like, I don't know, a different type of feeling, different type of, I'm here. You feel me? Different type of beating on your chest type of deal. And it actually kind of, I don't know, it kind of spun me into all these other things that I'm doing. You know, I got a construction business, and, you know, I got a development company. But that first deal kind of gave me all of the basics of all these different components of the business. One thing that I was learning when I was around Jay was which I like to call like how to hit a home run deal. And that's a lot of people out here doing it, but like basically it's about being vertically integrated and controlling the chain. So like you can literally wholesale a deal and literally do the construction for the client and literally manage the property. You can be in between, you know, the finance and get points on the finance. So you can literally eat like 5-6 ways on a deal. If you know how to, you know, finesse or, you know, play the game right or move the chess pieces, if you will. So that was one thing that my first deal, I ended up, you know, making $5,000 off the wholesale. And I actually got paid $5,000 to construction manage because the property was actually in my hometown, my home neighborhood. So what ended up happening was I had a networking event, which was another big, you know, moment in my career because I had been working behind the scenes with Jay for a few years. And like, I'm doing, you know, business for him and with all these different people from all around the country, but I'm literally with this person like every day. So it's like, that was my moment where we actually shared the stage together and like, you know, it was on my platform in my arena. So I felt like I had actually, you know, gained some skin, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually around. So, but a guy came with a CD, he had like 100,000 in a CD and he needed somewhere to invest it. So, and it wasn't even that. The other dope part about me doing my first deal, you know, I was so used to being looked over and just, you know, we got so much business because my little deal was, you know, a wholesale deal. I had got it for 25,000. I think I sold it to them for, you know, another 30 and 35 or 30,000 or whatever the case may be. And it was great, but I didn't have to force that deal on them. You feel me? People coming, you know, calling through the phone line. Yeah, we got 9 acres of land over here, and you know, I got this apartment building here, and I want to do this and that. Like these deals are way more aggressive and people that's actually doing stuff. I'm still trying to close my first deal. But long story short, I had got a call from a buyer while we were sitting in the living room, and I'm talking to him about my property, whatever. And he just, after it was over, he was like, "Why you didn't tell me you had a deal?" I'm just like, "I ain't think to tell you to have a deal." You feel me? And then it was kind of spiraled out from there, and we figured the numbers out, and like that was it, man. We went to the closing table, like dudes were feeling, and I got to help somebody in my community, and I was building my team. So like one of my guys from my neighborhood, I had him doing basically like acquisition. So I'm like, anything that you bring to the table, you know, it's 30. I give you 30%. So he ended up even making like a good $900 to $1,000 through that. And we helped his friend beat foreclosure. So he was just gonna let the property go for nothing. Basically, his family was living in the property, and he was tired of paying all the tabs on everything and like just getting hit with the bills. He just was like, you know, we gotta put up like $3,000, or this joint going to auction like next week. I'm like, look, figure out the $3,000, and I'll make sure you get more than that. You feel me? Which he figured it out, you know, and then, you know, we end up doing a deal.
So it was a win-win-win for everybody.
Crazy. Yup.
So after your first wholesale deal, how did you get to the point where you like, I'm going to start a development company, a construction company? Because now, you know, we see the plans behind you. You a full-fledged construction company. How did you? What was that like? What was that journey from like, okay, I got my first wholesale deal to now becoming, you know, vertically integrated?
Well, let me back you up to the first deal, right? So I got the wholesale part, right? And then I told you, because it was in my neighborhood, so he paid me $5,000 to project manage. So I ended up getting 3 contractors to come out and give me estimates, guys that I knew that were local. And I ended up hiring a contractor. I think the budget was only like $26,000 or something like that, right? And this is my old head. He actually, you know, one of my OGs in the neighborhood, and you know, I know his sons. You know, we real tight, stuff like that. But long story short, he like, look, make sure I get the job, and I make sure you make some more money on the joint too. So he ended up actually, you know, I ended up doing like landscaping there, using the chainsaw, cutting trees down, cutting the trees back, putting a little flower bed on the side of the house, stuff like that. He taught me how to parge the basement, basically showed me how to mix, and then put it on the wall. Said, look, you see it? You got it? I said, yeah. All right, cool. Then he left me down there. And, you know, I ended up, you know, patching and starting to learn to parge basements. What else? The clean out part was before I even hired him. And, you know, at the time I'm calling different companies to come, you know, figure out who's going to do the clean out. And the numbers was like, you know, 1,600, you know, people saying 1,100, stuff like that. I'm just like, it sound a little high. I mean, it sound a little high. I couldn't understand. You feel me? Then I started learning about, you know, they got to detach like, you know, stuff from the property, like detaching the tub, detaching, you know, sinks, stuff like that. That's that's demo. So I actually learned like, okay, they charging me more for this because it's not something you can just walk away with. You got to use tools, stuff like that. But long story short, I ended up calling my other man, which ended up being one of my partners. Like, yo, you got some of them unks, you feel me? Tell them to come through. We need some cheap labor or whatever. So he got some guys for $50 a day. Ended up renting a U-Haul. and me and him ended up making like, $200 a piece, paid them, and still kept, more profit versus, me paying somebody $1,600 to do the job. I'm just like, look, man, we probably can really do this for real, like. And that was kind of like the thing, like, whoa, this shit was like quick, easy, and we probably can really do a real business out of this thing. So that play happened like that. That's what, ventured into my construction business. Because the contractor that I even hired, I came at him for 20%. I'm like, look, I see you I see you hustling, I see you get it, but like I would call it the 80s block hustle is what he got. You feel me? He not really scaling it wide. He kind of knocking everything out himself. I'm like, I can take your business to the next level. He like, looked at me crazy, like, I've been doing this for 16 years. What make you think you about to just come get 20% of my situation? I'm like, oh, all right. And then, all right, cool, I got you. We came back a good, couple months later with our own joint. I ended up getting the office with him, splitting it, and like now I'm running my business, he running his business, but like we in business.
Got you. So you figured it out on the fly, and like now you learn how to scale up and vertically integrate. That's dope.
For sure.
So it started with the demo. It started on the demo side. You figured out how
demo, clean outs, general labor, basically all general labor. That's kind of what we specialize in. Like we're not no mechanics, and I'm not even a construction guy. Like I was wearing suits every day before I got into construction, so it was just like that was a whole curve for me right there. Like, oh man, I'm out here, I gotta get dirty now. But it's a grind, man, and it's something that I realized that connecting what I was doing from a wholesale perspective. I didn't have much money. It was hard to even get contractors then to come and assess my properties for me as I'm getting them under contract. Like I was saying, it took me 2 years to close my first deal, but I probably contracted like 12 properties at least. Easy. You feel me? Before, so my closeout game was weak, but my relationships was there. But I knew that I could own a piece of the company that was going to be on the back end of this whole thing, because my goal is to continue to buy properties and continue to wholesale. So it's like, if we got the, resource in pocket, then, we the people that's getting it the cheapest. So that was really the mentality behind it. Like, we're going to go the long way with it. Then we need to be on the other side of this thing, because you either got the property, you got the financing, or you got the construction.
All right. So now let's bring it up to like what you got going on today. In terms of today, like what is your strategy now? Are you still like primarily wholesaling? Are you buying, holding? Are you doing a little bit of everything? Like, what is your main focus these days?
Got you. Well, I thought that I was just, setting up a side play with the construction and letting my, my guys do their thing, because they didn't really have main businesses or anything like that. My main focus was on the investing, but the construction just grew so fast that it kind of took over and kind of became my mainstay. And like, what I needed to try and, anchor into the ground for real. It was doing way more volume than what I was doing, wholesaling deals. And I realized that, but I really wanted to, I want to be the biggest investor I can be. My end goal is, multifamily, holdings and development, where, I'm being creative with just new construction, new design, and just kind of doing what I want to do. Like I always had this vision of like having like one of those cul-de-sacs with like, 8 properties on it, and they all like custom homes. Like I kind of had that vision before I was even in real estate. And it was just like,
Gotcha.
I get it. So, now kind of what I do today, back to that, right? Construction is like my mainstay. I'm trying to definitely get back in the wholesaling lane a little bit more this year and close a couple more deals. But it's more for me about getting on the investment side of it at the forefront, whereas though I can leverage what I've been trying to do the whole time. You feel me? If I can get a house at, just say 50,000 and it's worth, 150,000 or something like that. We know the construction is, 80,000, but it's going to really cost us, 50,000 to do the construction. I got a $30,000 GC fee before I even touch it, and I can still go do the work and still, be in control. So it's like, that's really what my goal is, to not really be chasing a bunch of my clients' properties around, but keeping our primary core, what we like to call them VIC clients, people that keep the lights on all year long, and focus on my portfolio, and having my construction company focus on my portfolio.
Got you. So along this journey, right, you talked about, starting out in Norristown, like some of your trials and tribulations. What would you say is the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome to get you to where you are today, where you have the construction company, you're an investor now yourself? What was the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome?
Okay, so when you say my hurdle, in the sense of like just life, or in the sense of the business, or like
either, whatever comes to mind. When I ask you the question about your hurdle, like, so,
it's a lot of things that come to mind. I think, just initially, even outside of before we start talking about money, is like getting the right people involved and like getting past the point of like you think everybody's supposed to, see your vision and stuff like that. The people you love, the people that's around you, like a lot of times they're not really in tune. So like you gotta go ahead and take off yourself, and like the people that you're supposed to meet is gonna meet you on the path to where you're going. And that's something that I really learned early, just hustling and trying to figure all of this stuff out. I would say business hurdle definitely was capital. You feel me? We started with nothing. Like our first big investment, I would say, for a construction business was a $1,500 pickup truck. You feel me? So it's like literally we just started the LLC, put like $100 in the bank account to open the account, and like started doing labor to start like getting our thing going. One of my partners, Mike, he had a cleaning company called MC2, and he had wanted me to come down and help him like get more clients and help him scale. So it was easy for me to just be like, all right, well, let's just join a business and like do this when it was time. But I had to come down to see what he was doing. But when I got there, basically he was getting paid labor rates. So just say guys are paying, $20 an hour, $25 an hour for laborers, and he's working, they need more guys there. So, we can pay guys $12 an hour and, we make the difference. So that's kind of how we got into our first jobs when we actually already, incorporated our business. It was that we went right back to his clients and then sent 4 guys to sites or however many guys they needed. And then we started making money off top, which is time. Let's call it like time and material. So that was that. We might make $12 an hour, $15 an hour off of each guy by the end of the week and put that away. If we were on site, we make, whatever we make as people, we keep our whole $25 an hour, whatever it is. And, that kind of got us started. But at the time, we're in mansions and, we're in, affluent areas right outside, Philly. And it was dope. I wish we could have got a lot more content and social proof at that time, but they didn't know the game. I kept telling, yo, you got to get these pictures, because I'm doing other stuff. I'm not even on site. I'm just running other businesses and doing this and that. So it came to a point where they kind of got on me like, look, you need to put your time in. We don't like what this time materials is doing over here. They're not really respecting our hand, and like we need other jobs. So that's when I got in my bag, and like I got my first contract. Shout out my man D-Rock. He owned Wonderful Cleaning at the time. He still does, actually, doing numbers on the cleaning business, labor side. But he had a contract with a guy from our neighborhood. He had 3 houses that he wanted to demo. And that was my first $5,000 contract. And, we got smoked. Like, if I had to do the jobs today, we probably would have been in them for at least $20,000 to do those joints. So, but that's when I started getting that social proof. I built our website from that. And, the Instagram started going, stuff like that. And from there, we got with Greg Parker. He had made a post looking for some laborers for a job. And, we ended up getting down there like the next day or so or something like that. He was paying guys by the day. It was like $60, $70 a day or something like that. And yeah, we got guys on site. We came with our own equipment. We came with our pickup truck. Other guys was coming off Instagram too, but they ain't have no jerseys. We was like kind of already put together. Yeah. So we ended up actually, this is a big monster too. This is like 3,300 square foot, 3-story house that needed to be demoed. We ended up being on site with the guys the first day, and by the second day or so, everybody else was somewhere else, and we was just finishing it by ourselves, which was dope. And it wasn't contract work. If I had to contract somebody for that property today, that'd be like a $15,000 demo job. And that was it right there. Boom, social media started going again, and neighboring investors ended up, seeing us, and we kind of came in low. We started cutting everybody short, $2 a square foot. So for a little,
20. So you would shorten yourself initially just to keep building up your brand and building up more business.
I would say so, yeah, and not even I would say all the way intentionally for real, because we ain't really know. We was wet, like we was just trying to get active.
Got you.
But yeah, that's essentially what it was. We was undercutting the market. You feel me? You need to be somewhere closer to like $5 a square foot. We was in that too. But we turned that first $5,000 contract to now we in the city. We passed our little Greg project. We got our next real client, and it's 2 demos, $5,000 a piece. Boom, magic. So that's kind of like the beginning journey or beginning steps of us getting our first contract projects, and like taking that joint to the next level. That client actually taught us what brick exposure was, which is like a specialty niche demo service where you take the plaster off the wall and leave the exposed brick inside the house. And we butchered a wall or two for sure. But yeah, it ended up being it's an art, man. It's like for us, it's like putting a Basquiat in somebody's house. Like, its houses are selling like crazy, but this is like one of the main features that people were looking for, and like we like one of the main people that kind of grabbed hold of it and like made it like a, you need to, we the best in the business. That's what we say. We're the best in the business for sure. So we done shit, man. Probably at least easy 50 brick exposed walls inside, in Philadelphia. So.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, man, you got a lot of stuff that you juggling, man. How do you stay focused when you got so many projects and things you're working on?
Oh, good question. I don't know. It's an everyday struggle, man. I'm just trying to put the right people around me. Continue to focus on like leadership and just always improving for real, man. That's the only way to do it. Just trying to keep my mind, keep my energies in the right places, and yeah, man, just working, man. Just like not taking no shorts in the sense of like no days off or just slacking off about anything really. Because once you really start to build a strong business, the business starts to take a life of its own, and it's like you either going to tame it or not. So I'm in the taming business, man. I'm trying to make myself wealthy and just chase my dreams. So this is my dream. You feel me? I've actually made my mind up about it, and I've been on this I would say 10-year journey, maybe almost 11 years chasing this. I've been in real estate I guess since 2014 is when I started my actual LLC. So
is there a book or something that's inspired you along your journey? Would you say is your favorite book or something that helped you a lot like through this journey?
That's a good one, man, because I really don't even read books a lot. That's the crazy part. But I would probably say I always mention Beach Chair Money.
Okay.
It's a book by Jordan Adler. And it just talks about like the concepts of the 4-hour work week, kind of like Timothy Ferriss type of deal. And like, because once you start making money, you can be chasing money a lot everywhere and trying to catch it every which way. And like, it's not really about that. You feel me? You got to really understand your business models, the scalability of your businesses, and like, try and figure out what your formula is for success. And I think that, nobody wants to work forever and be beating the clock. That's what I kind of come from, my parents and stuff like that. My dad was in the streets. He had a couple jobs here and there, but like, you feel me? IHOP, nothing spectacular. Like he wasn't one of those, like catching with a pocket full of money and he busting a move. My mom, she always been like the nursing field, working in hospitals, stuff like that. But the funny thing is like, she'd be bragging to me about overtime or something like, yeah, boy, I just bust them up, extra 20 hours this week or whatever. And it's just like, that shit ain't like me bragging like that. Like I get it, but like, no, we need to be getting assets and making moves and stuff like that. Shout out to my mom, though. She is the one that actually purchased, a house. And that's, another part that kind of plays into my, our real estate brain a little bit. We used to, live in like our hometown projects, they like duplex apartments and, a 6-7 unit building, stuff like that, all in this little compound type of thing. But when I went to 6th grade, she bought a duplex actually that was on the other side of town, but we ended up converting it into a single family, and that ended up being, the house that we grew up in. I got, to play a part in like, knocking out some walls and, just seeing the house transform over time. It wasn't like she did like a investor flip deal. This was like, something that happened over a decade of time of just one thing at a time type of thing. So
that could have impacted you and you didn't even know.
Big time, you feel me? I'm out in the yard grinding, cutting bushes down, playing with machines and trying to, we picked the whole yard up and turn the grass over and what I'm saying? There was a lot of different things with it. So my mom ended up doing like because on the second floor it was a bedroom, it was the kitchen, and then it was a super small bathroom. We knocked out the kitchen and the bathroom, and she ended up making a big bathroom and doing a walk-in closet to her room and being able to walk from her room into the bathroom and like, so it was cool things like that. Like, oh shit, like, well, all right. You know what I mean? We ain't never had that, and like, let alone being able to see it happen in real time. It was like, all right, I like this stuff. So
that's dope. That's dope. See, sometimes like your parents or whoever you're around does things, and you don't even recognize how it impacts you until you get older. You know what I mean? That's dope. That's dope. Hey, Corey, you got any questions for the brother, man?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. So,
talk to me, King.
the first thing is time management, right? And so you talked a little bit about time management, but now with the multiple businesses and your family, and you said you put your squad on. How do they help alleviate the time management? Like, how does being around people you like affect the time that you put in?
That's a good question. I would say like everybody got a role to play. Like I'm not at the point where we just figuring stuff out and all this and that. Like no, we put in some real work. We got a couple good years in. Like I would say I've been home for like good 5 years now. About since just my stint and really kind of working with Jay, and I worked with Jay for about 3 years, and I learned so much stuff in that amount of time, and the stuff that we was doing, it was just unprecedented, something that I never seen before. Just that crossover appeal, and being able to come from the streets and like what I'm saying, really clean up, and like the whole thing was just different. The type of deals, we sitting in mayor's offices and things like so. All these things. Long story short, you feel me? The lifestyle, and what I'm saying, we eating good and traveling and doing things. Like I brought that home and like said, look, I don't own that. You feel me? At this point, I had ended up actually getting suspended at one point for like a 90-day suspension. And that was like because I never really knew when I was going to leave and when it was going to transpire. But I was thinking just let me take this 90 days and build what I need to build so that, I'm on my way to like, setting up my financial future so that all these things I can be doing for myself and being able to keep. And I just never really went back. It just never really was timing, and I just got super dug in with the stuff I was doing, building my construction company. I had another fashion company, Marathon Sport, at the time, stuff like that. So I think that, like I was saying, like it's not no fire drill at this point. Like I came back with intent. Like I could have moved to Atlanta and like continue to help grow the business and do that type of thing, but I came back and built businesses with the immediate people around me. Say, yo, I got the information. I know what we need. Here go the boats. Cool. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna row this drone or you gonna sink, but it's set up, and everybody understood the assignment. So we a couple years in, I'm 4 years now in construction, and yeah, man, like
I got a question based on what you just said, right? So a lot of times when you go to business, to Corey's point, the people you want to help are the people that are closest to you, family, friends, or whatever. But sometimes they're the wrong people.
Absolutely.
Have you had those kind of experiences where, like, because the thing is, you want to help the people closest to you. That's that's who everybody does. But have you had those experiences where it's someone you're trying to pull up with you, and you recognize like they're not there?
For sure, and it could be a lot for a lot of different reasons, but like everybody not gonna make it, and that's facts. And it's funny too because even in the time, like I remember at the time of like me trying to figure out my split and stuff like that, like I remember Jay just saying sometimes like they not ready, and because we had so much stuff going on, we was making money. It's my first time seeing a 6-figure business built from scratch. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of nuances with it, and we had a lot of steam and momentum at the time. But I just had to bet on myself and go with what I knew for real, which I done been to war with these dudes for the last, however many years. We done been in real dog fights in different neighborhoods with different kids, and just getting to it. So like I kind of banked on that, which we was able to build our own successful 6-figure business for sure out of it. So I can appreciate that. But yeah, everybody ain't gonna make it, man. I done lost guys, just along the way, man. Guys that done got murdered along the way. People I was trying to pull out. So I'm always trying to fish, the right people out. But like I'm past the point where it's a fire drill. Like this shit gotta be like, it gotta be preordained. Like this shit gotta be in you. You feel me? And I can recognize that immediately. I don't mind helping, but like, I ended up starting, my consulting firm in 2016. This was just like, again, I was telling you earlier, it was just a lifestyle for me and just influencing and doing that type of thing for a long time. And being as though I was so far ahead of the curve with just business, and before this, like I would say the tech boom, is like people come to me just naturally, like, yo, I want to get up started in business, or yo, I respect what you're doing. How can I do this? Or this is my idea. And I'm a visionary, so it's natural for me. The marketing, the branding, all that stuff is natural. The hard part is actually managing and running and scaling a business. That's the different part. Shit that we never did before. So I kind of leave it there. You feel me? I get people set up. That's what I like to enjoy to do, because even me, I get lucid with my dreams and my goals, because it's so easy for me to visualize and see and put it in motion that you get heavy when you juggling a bunch of things, and now you spread thin and all that. So it's like I realized that this is somebody else's dream. It might, what I'm saying, I can still be a part of it or do something about it, but I don't need to jump on every great idea that I have because it's just somebody else's dream. And you kind of gotta take your time sometimes. But like, I'm wired a little loose, man. I got lucid dreams, man. I do whatever I wanted to be, so took it to heart.
Yeah, I got a second question. So, but through all of the experiences, playing ball, then moving into business, doing things with Jay and all of those people, people like what kind of cachet do you give to relationships, right? Because a lot of what I heard is relationship building through what you were doing. So, like, how do you feel about the relationships that you've built over the time that you've been in business?
And it's just life. It's a life joint for y'all right here, man. Like, I believe that people are put in your life for a certain purpose and a certain reason. So everybody not gonna make it to the finish line, and you just gotta understand and really kind of be genuine, man. I always say, like, one up and one down with yourself. Like, I don't care what the hell going on in life or business or whatever, as long as you really staying true to yourself and like true to your the higher power of, what I'm saying, whatever your passion and your purpose is and stuff like that. Like, I believe everything gonna fall into place as it may. So you just use the pieces on the chessboard accordingly. You feel me? Sometimes, your queen get clipped, or sometimes, you feel me, your rook might get knocked off. It's just like you gotta play the game and just understand where you're going. You feel me? Because again, the people that you're supposed to meet is gonna meet you on the way, man. Like, even this is my first time even kind of talking about Jay on the interview, I believe, and I know it might offend some of our political connects because it has in different capacities, on different levels and different ranges, even though that we haven't even worked together. But a lot of people know me from that, and it's a struggle. You feel me? You just gotta be careful with what you're doing and how you're doing it and who you're doing it with. Like, all that stuff is is real. We're from the business all the way to the streets. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about being thorough and just definitely protecting yourself, protecting your brand, but like, I don't know, just making sure you're keeping it even. So I think
it's a journey. I mean, it's part of your story. It's a journey.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's how you help. It was helping you in your transition. So
sure, and I got no malice, man. I got no malice with King. Like, me and Jay still fly. Like, you feel me? We homies, and what I mean, we ain't doing no business, but nothing like that. But like, we text, and we've been on trips.
Just because like you don't do business don't mean you can't talk.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's all part of your story, man, and your story is your story. I noticed one thing though through this conversation we've been having. You had a lot of different chess references. Do you actually play chess?
I do play chess a little bit. Like, my pop, he been booked, so that's his thing. He love to play chess, and like, my dad kind of taught me how to play. So we play, every now and again, maybe every week, every 2 weeks or something. But
okay,
just give me a headache. He bust my ass. I still haven't beaten him yet. I haven't beaten him in, we've been playing for years. So
listen, man. I just noticed the references, man. So I was like, he must listen. Core cooked me. I can't be Core, so it is what it is. Like, Corey playing some like Chinese chess or some old. Right. But anyway, that's
it's a game of life for sure, man. It's definitely a lot of learning in that game.
But I noticed several times the chess references. I was like, "Oh, you must actually play chess because you made a couple different references."
The first tournament I ever went to was a chess tournament. It wasn't even basketball or football. It was a chess tournament.
Oh man, yeah, that joint give me headaches, man. I be getting my butt whooped.
Yo, you sound like me. You sound like me because I think way too much, man. It's like it gets to be not fun because I'm like, yo, I'm so stressed out playing this joint, like
for sure.
But anyway,
the funny joint, my dad, he always be saying, man, he be laughing like, man, I'm gonna be dead and gone before you figure this joint out, man. I just be like, all right, like, it make me want to get him. Like, I gotta figure this joint out. He ain't gonna be talking crazy like that. Like.
So listen, you told us about your journey, man. You have a very inspiring story, man, of where you at now, because you're helping your folks, you putting your people on, which is important to you, and you said that from the beginning of your story. It's not just about you; it's about your team.
It is for sure. Absolutely.
What's the future look like? What are some of the things that you want to do moving forward, like 2022 and beyond? What's the future look like for you and your business?
Got you. So let me kind of, I guess, tune y'all all in. So we got Black Diamond Construction Services. That's our construction arm, and I want to continue to grow that. Definitely a multi-million-dollar construction business. And I never really had no aspirations for it, but I see a couple companies. I get on webinars, Zooms, a lot of bigger companies, Axis or Gilbane. They talking about. man, they talking crazy, $100 million and, 4-year projects. So, that kind of inspired me in a different kind of way. But I never wanted to grow a construction company that big. Again, I still want to, reverse it to this company is most primarily focused on what we need to do with our portfolio and our growth. So that's that for sure. Multi-million-dollar construction business, continue to grow it and keep going where we're going. We took some hits during COVID, stuff like that. But, at our height, we probably even did about 300,000 or something like that gross, which is cool enough for me for something that I never even really had no ambitions for. So
Yeah.
that was great. Investing side, I'm definitely thinking 100 doors or better. We got some assets over in Cleveland right now that we purchased through the pandemic. I grabbed a 3-unit triplex as well as a 6-unit building. So I'm looking forward to, just kind of hanging on and just kind of riding that wave out and just trying to figure out what we can really do from a community development standpoint in Cleveland. Just because that's where our assets and our holdings are at this very moment. So we made some good purchases. But obviously I want to do more here. I'm interested in the Baltimore market as well. So that's that from an investing standpoint. Again, my goal is multifamily apartments and, development. That's the end goal for the real estate piece of it. My consulting firm this year, I'm going to do some more of numbers and volumes. Definitely looking to take on some clients. I've been doing it since 2016, but, like I said, a lot of people just come to me just because they know I'm around and, I'm getting into stuff. So I catch plays through the back door. Like I don't really market outbound aggressively on the front. Like, hey, what's up? We looking for clients. Kind of taking on a case by case basis, but I'm gonna definitely be locking in this year and helping a few more businesses grow and just kind of building my brand with my $1 billion brand firm business. Focus on intellectual property. Really, I got a book coming out called Dirty Money, actually teaching people how to get into the construction business the way that we did, right from the bottom. It's just general labor. It's not rocket science. You don't gotta make it complicated. Like you can get in here and you can make some racks. Like I did a live $4 million mansion, $2 broom, how to break into the construction real estate. The luxury real estate market. It's like literally my mom used to have me sweeping with this broom. We hated doing chores. That wasn't it. It was just like I'm literally standing in a $4 million mansion with a $2 poppy store broom right now. Like this shit is not real. I probably would have picked it up a little bit more if my mom would have told me this shit was possible, but it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just kind of teach those type of concepts though, because I think it's a lot of money being left on the table and like, people go to college, people do all these different things to make their money, but this is one of the things where you don't really need no degrees or no extra capabilities, but the upside is like, it's crazy. You feel me? You can be making, I just posted it. I ain't even posted yet, but we did a project, it's snow removal, but we did joint. It's like $400 to do this, property, and we did it in an hour and a half. If we had a plow, it would have been done in 15 minutes. But like somebody gonna work 2-3 days to go do that. So
yeah.
That's dirty. In a book called Dirty Money, how to position yourself for success in the construction industry. And it just teaches people how to get into labor and, breaking the game. So y'all should be seeing that come out within the next, 2 months or so.
Let us know about that, man. Because that's frontline stuff right there, right?
Yep.
So a lot of people don't like to get in on the front lines. People want to get it, be snipers and hit one big shot instead of getting in on the front lines where you can, do the dirty work and really move your way up. And people don't want to don't want to do the work. Like everything I heard about what you talk about in this story is you doing the work. And that's all I want to hear. Like,
for sure.
Am I doing the work? Yes, indeed. Yes, I'm doing the work.
You did the work that some folks wouldn't even want to do. But I think first thing that hit my mind, and I was like, man, I got to figure out a way, like once you've done the book, to get this in the hands of some folks, because I want to be able to help folks that are just coming home, right?
Yep.
That don't have like certain opportunities. Like this is like ideal for them. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure. No, man, definitely. I can definitely appreciate it. Y'all got a nice list or something like that, man. We could do a little JV or something like that on the list, but the pre-orders is out right now, man. DirtyMoneyContractor.com. Definitely tap in. You can get the ebook, you can get the hard copy, or you can get the hard copy signed edition, with a private webinar that I'm doing to actually teach on the book and the lessons and kind of like, spill game on what's actually going on. So
yeah, I'll make sure you shoot me that link. I'll put it in the description, man. But
we definitely need to tap in with that because we always try to help our brothers and sisters that's not in the right position. So we're trying to help them get them in the right position.
Yep, for sure. So like lastly, like that's a part of the $1 billion brand firm and the intellectual property thing. Like I'll be doing other, books, content, kind of tapping in with the courses and stuff like that. Just trying to take it slow. But primarily the $1 Billion Brand Firm, we focused on brand development, helping you get your business set up, all your marketing and branding together, stuff like that. That's kind of where most of my clients lie at. And, we'll be getting into other business topics and stuff like that. But, construction is my strongest arm. So I decided to just kind of start there and just keep going and keep growing with it. So you see a lot from the $1 Billion Brand Firm. That's billionbrandfirm.com. You can go check out our website. Intellectual property is like at the top of my priority list this year in terms of my growth and, trying to pick up some more units this year. So that's really what I'm on 2022. Town First Development Group, man, that's the face of my real estate brand moving forward. And we can be doing some heavy things in the real estate space. But I got, a couple other partnership ventures, Black Diamond REI, which is an extension of, my construction business, of course. Wyatt One Holdings, a couple other Christopher Darden Real Estate Investing. That was my first business that I started back in 2014. It kind of got me in the game. I still own that LLC. But yeah, Town First Development Group, man, that's how we rocking.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on, good brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. You gotta have a couple pockets, couple different things going on so that everything makes sense. Then definitely with the IP game, like I'm actually tied into the beauty space as well. I don't talk about it much because I ain't really figured out the branding and how I really want to step on it and approach it. It's a lot of feminine stuff going on in that space, but tied in. My girl, she got a beauty salon. We started in 2019, and we end up starting another business. We sell beauty products, hair extensions and beard oils and hair growth serums.
Yo,
that joint rocking too. You feel me? It's a dope, and I'm looking to turn it up for real in that space this year because that's the first business and product that I'm using to grow in the e-commerce space again. Like I was kind of starting in that beauty space, but I got other things that I want to tap into with the real estate, like I don't know if I want to talk about all this on this one, but it'll be like, real estate's forever changing. So, it's a lot of smart home technology, stuff like that. Products that we can kind of play with on the e-commerce side, but I just ain't fully developed over there yet. Trying to take my time. I gotta get some things moving and get situated. But I'm a serial entrepreneur, man. Like I'm out here just trying to stop creating businesses unless it's a business that needs to be created, but get the right ones on the right page, and slow walk.
Listen, it's like I said before, it's all part of the journey, and you learn from each one, and then you figure out how to scale what you can scale and grow from there, man. But Chris, I want to thank you for sharing your story and your time with our audience, man. And I just want to wish you continued success, man, and continue to change lives and help the people around you, man. I think your story is inspirational and it's dope, man, because again, what I took from this is like the whole time you talked, it wasn't even just about you, it was about your team. And I think that's important because you're helping other folks, and that's what it's really about, man. So I just want to say thank you.
No, for sure, man. I appreciate the opportunity to get the mic, man, for sure. Y'all ever want, just do some live stuff or just
live?
Definitely appreciate the vibe.
We definitely gonna tap in, man.
So listen, niche topic, so it ain't like
It's all gravy. It's all great, and I'm gonna get all the links that you mentioned and put them in the description as well as the show notes, man. So for our audience out there, make sure you tap in with Chris, see what he's got going on. Check him out. Shoot him a message. And follow everything he's got going on. Make sure you get the book as well. Get the pre-orders and all that. Because I think that project is going to be very important in terms of everything you got going on. But that being said, man, I just want to say thanks again, man, and to our audience out there. Corey, any more before we get out of here, good brother?
No, man, I just wanted to say, as an educator and somebody who, works with youth, your story is inspiring. And so, I hope the youth can take something from your story and really make something out of it.
I appreciate that, man. I hope the same thing, man. That's really where I'm coming from, man. I'm just trying to inspire, man, and just keep doing what I'm doing, man. Lead by faith and just, we hustling, man. But make sure y'all follow me on Instagram too, man, at Young Mogul CEO. Yeah, man, you'll be able to see all the stuff that I've been talking about. Really, it's all there from front to back. The beauty stuff, real estate, construction. You're gonna see everything. So
it's all on the page. Make sure to share that page as well, man. And to our audience, as we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, man. And we'll see you guys on our next episode. Peace.